Well, finally, every family has its own special holiday traditions, but I assure you none has one like the one you're about to witness down in Loretto, Tennessee. Rob Wilds had a burning desire to take in an annual family gathering where this hot holiday tradition fills the nighttime skies.
Christmas Eve finds the Bosheers family and friends gathered to celebrate the holiday. There's the traditional Christmas dinner. There's a traditional hayride. And then there's another Bosheers tradition which family member Wade Pettis says has only one rule.
Mainly the only thing is just don't catch on fire.
It's just great balls of fire.
Every Christmas Eve, the Bosheers get together and throw flaming balls at each other, which family elder statesman Tom Bosheers says dates back to the 1920s.
And how this thing kind of got started was, we're looking for fireworks. Well, you couldn't afford any fireworks back at that time, so somebody picked up an old ball and started kicking around, and then at that time we used coal oil lamps. Now they're called kerosene lamps, but we had coal oil lamps. So they got the ideal of somebody that, well, now if we drop this old ball in this coal oil, then set it on fire, then we'll throw it around. But, well, they did that, but of course it wasn't soaked up enough, so it kept going out. So then they decided that they would make these balls. And then, we used that for the holiday type thing, and it's a way to celebrate, throwing them back and forth, and the family started getting involved with it. And then throughout the years, you just kind of passed it down to the generation.
That was fun.
Well, hold on, well, wait a minute, back up a bit here. Flaming balls? Yep, each handmade to exacting specifications, sort of, by members of the family.
Like you cut your next layer, maybe like right here.
Family members like Charity Simback, who, when she married into the Bosheers clan, became a flaming ball maker.
You start like this size, and you end up the size of a softball. The last one I made took about 5 hours before I was finished.
But the ball is still not ready, oh no. The Bosheers will fling no flaming ball before it's time. Which means a couple of days soak in kerosene before they're finally ready for the Christmas Eve tradition. And like every good tradition, it's memorialized in verse.
The sheriff's department was flooded with calls, ball lightning, meteors, UFOs, and fireballs. As the deputies pulled up, they saw with a shock 'twas the night the rednecks threw a lit sock.
Then, before the game officially starts, the rules have to be explained. Fortunately, there are no rules, and only one precaution.
If you catch on fire, what are you supposed to do?
Stop, drop, and roll.
Stop, drop, and roll. You can't outrun your britches that's on fire, okay?
The game is kind of like baseball, but A-Rod never hit a hot grounder like this.
It's kind of like playing baseball in a way. We do not use sticks or bats. Separate into two different groups. We throw them back and forth from one group to the other. If there's just a couple of people in each group, we might not have but 1 or 2 balls going at a time. Sometimes we may have 10 or 12 in each group, and so we'll have 4 or 5 of the balls going. And of course, if you're skilled enough to catch it, well, you catch it and you throw it back to the other side. You're just playing catch.
With a fireball.
Yes.
I would think catching a flaming ball would, well, hurt.
No, it's about like catching a softball or a baseball. So,
but it's on fire.
You just have to throw it back very quickly.
For the old timers, part of the fun is watching the first timers.
You always know the rookie, because they always want to reach down and pick it up, and then they burn their hand. They do all this thing.
That one got hot.
But it don't take long to catch on what technique to it.
That's got a handful of kerosene.
You'd think playing with fire would result in some crispy Bosheers, but not so. At least nobody complains about being singed.
If somebody were to catch on fire, we would just stomp them out right quick like you'd stomp out a grass fire.
Well, that sounds like the cure is worse than the disease.
Yeah, it tends to make you not want to catch on fire. So you'll be a little safer yourself knowing that you're going to get stomped out.
Which may be one reason why none of the Bosheers complain about an occasional scorched strand of hair or missing eyebrow. Even the younger generation, like 14-year-old Jared Bosheers, is fired up about the tradition, although it can be a bit hard on the wardrobe.
Well, one time I caught my hat on fire. Somebody threw it, and I didn't even know it was on fire, and they said, your head's on fire, and I just started patting it out, and everything's fine.
Which appeals not just to the male side of the family, but to the females, like Olivia Dickey, who started flinging the flamers a couple of years ago when she was in the 4th grade.
Well, I was kind of like, what? Fireballs? What are you talking about? It took me about an hour to pick them up and throw them because I was afraid that it was going to catch me on fire. Then after about an hour, I picked it up and was throwing it, and it was awesome.
What'd you like about it?
Well, the thrill of throwing it.
What's fun about that?
It's on fire.
Which makes it something you don't see or experience every day.
You think I'm going to hurt myself?
I'll get a ball for you.
You will? And then what do I do with it once you get it?
I'll just give it to you.
No! And then what do I do with it?
Catch it.
Catch it?
Throw it.
Whoa!
Well, it's one of those things that it's kind of hard to describe. You just have to kind of get out there and do it. It's just a unique experience.
That's about the best explanation as to why the Bosheers and their friends gather each Christmas Eve in Loretto to celebrate the holiday by having a friendly little firefight.